Hello and welcome back to Chubby Farm and of course to Stardew Valley. Today we have a few things to do. We need to check the special orders board in town, check the daily bulletin board, as well as do all of our regular farming things. It also looks like I rushed to bed last night, so let's go ahead and clean up this inventory, deal with the farm, and then we'll go from there. But first, let's check our mail. Dear Panda, everyone around town has been talking about your great generosity lately. That is because we completed the bulletin board, so we'll get a whole bunch of friendship with a whole bunch of people, which is going to include a whole bunch of things. Apparently Jojo found us last night. I have no recollection of that, but that's fine. They billed us 306 gold for that service, and tomorrow, I believe, we will get all of the benefits from that. But you can see, just from doing that, we are going pretty well in terms of making friends with everybody. But like I said, before we do that, let's quickly clear out our inventory. We didn't have too much on us, so that's actually not too bad. For some reason, we're holding a bunch of bait. I don't exactly remember the reason for that. And we also don't have our rod on us, which is interesting. Why are we not carrying around our fishing rod? And where did it go? This is what happens when you don't play this game for a little bit. You forget why everything is different. Fishing rod is in there. I guess we were doing a Skull Cavern run and I just forgot to get the iridium rod back out. That makes sense. That still doesn't really answer the question as to why we have bait in our inventory. I guess it's because we only have 3 wild bait left, and that's fine. That's fine. We can live with that. All right, we have the Midnight Cup here. I believe that is for the raccoons, so I'm just going to leave that in there so that I can remind myself to deal with that. We also get our very first honey, and I will go ahead and harvest up all of our iridium. We should probably replace that while we are here. Get that all done, and then we can sell our Aged Legend row. Wild honey, we need 1 for the Warp Totem farm, and that's about it. So we can get that anytime. I think for now, I will just set it. Iridium bars, I will keep. Jade, I will keep. And that should be good. They can just go away, and we will refill the furnaces with a little bit more iridium because we will need a decent amount of money very, very soon. I also need to turn my headphones down because that is extremely loud. All right, perfect. All right, with that done, let's go ahead, and we don't have any crops ready to be harvested, so we can ignore that. We'll head over to our animals and get them dealt with nice and quickly here. Gus, good morning. What do you want, my friend? It is a beautiful day. What do you want? What do you, okay, hello. Ah, you are giving me something interesting. I believe this is a mini fridge. It's just making a sauce. And yeah, I believe this is the mini fridge recipe, but I actually can't remember. Yeah, I think we're friends too, Gus. We will, in this episode, have a lot of cutscenes. And that is just because we completed the bulletin board and that gives you friendship points with a whole bunch of people. So yeah, we're going to have a whole bunch of things. That was the mini jukebox, not the mini fridge. That makes sense. Okay, we can now craft the mini jukebox. We will have to make one of those eventually, but for right now, that is probably just going to go in a chest and I'm going to forget about it completely. But that's okay. Grab out our milk. Go ahead and switch that into our cheese machines. And that should be good to go, I believe. Yeah, perfect. All right, with that done, special orders board in town. Daily bulletin board, farm cave. I'm thinking about starting to ignore that, to be completely honest. I'm not going to harvest this fir tree yet because I want this one to be done before I harvest the rest of them. That is very important to me. All right, but that should be about it. I mean, we could do the farm cave just to clear it off our list. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. And I believe we also set up our greenhouse with all of that. So as soon as winter rolls around, I am going to remove all of the fruit trees from my farm and switch those over into my greenhouse instead. So we'll grab all that, we'll sell them up, and that'll be good to go. But from here, I think we should head into town, check on the special orders board. I did check it at the end of the last stream, but I honestly can't remember what it was. So that's going to be a surprise for all of us. Let's get everything that can go away. We'll go ahead and sell the wool. I know I should make it into cloth, but I honestly just don't want to at the moment. Legend row is going to get processed, and the mini jukebox can go ahead and live in our decoration chest for the time being. Grab out our legend row, find a couple of these barrels, and go ahead and age that up, and that should be fantastic. All right, before we head into town, Gus is after a sandfish. Do I have one laying around? There's a chance, but it's not a very high chance. And I'm guessing the answer to that question is no, but I will just quickly have a look. Actually, I can find out, right? If I do Shift F1, sandfish, click on this, and we scroll down, and it says we own 0 of these. So that is not going to happen. I apologize. Now, let's head into town and see what the special orders board has in store for us. All right, what do we have? Prismatic Jelly. I believe this is Monster Musk and Aquatic Overpopulation. I don't care about that nearly as much. So it is going to be Prismatic Jelly. I require assistance in tracking down the rare and dangerous prismatic slime within the local caves. Bring me a jar of its prismatic jelly and you will be duly rewarded. M. Rasmodius. All right, perfect. So I guess that answers the question of what are we going to do today? We are going to head to the mines. Actually, before we do that, I am going to head down to the beach because the AVCRM2 kindly reminded me that I set up crab pots down here, and I believe that was because I needed mussels for the raccoons. And Willie has a little bit of a problem. Let's find out what it is. That is a lot of crabs. Willie's got crabs, everybody. And Samel, the old girls, ran wild last night. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But I believe this allows us to head to the saloon and get a whole bunch of crab meals for cheap. I believe that is the case. So we might have to check that out at some point. I don't think the saloon's open. Yeah, crab cakes will be on special. I don't really care about crab cakes, to be completely honest with you. I don't eat them very often, so I'm just going to ignore that. I will, however, go ahead and grab out my bait and restock these crab pots. Perfect. Because yes, like I said, we need mussels for the raccoons if my memory serves me correctly, which there is a high chance that it doesn't, but I believe that is what we need those for. And then with that, we can head up to the mines and start hunting this prismatic jelly for the special orders board, which will allow us to get monster musk, which in turn will allow us to basically get our monster eradication goals a hell of a lot faster, which will be very, very nice to see. All right, prismatic jellies. I am going to go to like floor 20 probably, and just do some mining, general mining. I believe there is faster ways to do this, and I need to remember what all my keybinds were. But we're basically just looking for a slime that is multicolored and looks like a rainbow. Slay that, and then we can hand that in to the wizard and be good to go. Let's go ahead and drink some extra coffee. No, we don't need to yet. Okay, I just felt slow. We also just completed the Monster Slayer goal for doggies, which is very, very nice. Monster level on floor 24 is actually not bad. We could go ahead and reset every time to floor 20, continue farming down all the way to floor 24, and that would give us a monster level every single time, which in turn gives us a higher chance of finding a prismatic slime, right? So that might be something we do. Unfortunately, none on this level, but that is okay. And also, fortunately, we killed that last slime on this block here. Ladders can't spawn there, so we have to run all the way back to the entrance ladder to actually get down, which is kind of frustrating, but that's okay. I will go down, quickly just check this level, and then I think I will head straight back to floor 20 and rinse and repeat that pattern. And then, in theory, as soon as we find a ladder on this floor, which is actually conveniently right up here, as soon as we head back to floor 24, we should have another monster-infested floor. And we can go ahead and continue the hunt for our Prismatic Jelly. Although, in saying that, this floor now has not had very many slimes on it, so I'm wondering if it's even worth doing that, or if we just continue deeper into the mines and see what we can't find there. Seriously? I can't believe I've had to run back to this twice now. Was that even the last monster? It didn't spawn. Okay, there must be a flying bug somewhere. Or a Dougie in here that I missed. That's frustrating. Is it a... Surely it's not a Dougie in here. I killed one of them. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. Okay, I think I'm just going to continue on going deeper rather than trying to refarm this floor over and over again. We also have the slime eradication goal that we should slowly be making progress on here. We still have 171 slimes to do. Void spirits as well, so we could potentially be doing this lower in the mines. Otherwise, the rest of these are pretty much all Skull Cavern things, so we can't really complete those just yet. But going down to like floor 100 might also be a good option, trying to find these prismatic slimes, just because we would also then be killing void spirits, killing 2 birds with 1 stone, right? The only downside to that is slimes up there, or slimes down there, I should say, will take more than 1 hit to kill, so it could be a little bit slower, but I'm down to try it. Quickly check that I don't see a prismatic slime on this floor. Then I think I will leave and head down to floor 100 and do a couple floors over here, just to see if we can't get a slime here, as well as killing void spirits, which are these guys. Any of the dark ones are void spirits, just in case you were curious. And if we don't find a prismatic today, I think tomorrow, assuming that it's a decent luck day, I will go ahead and take some lucky food with me into the mines as well. And that should give us a higher chance of finding one. And we may even go ahead and use the ladder method tomorrow, just so that we're not doing this for the full week. At least we get a couple of void spirits on this floor, but still no prismatic slime. And a full inventory too, mind you, and plus another ancient seed, which is always nice. I'll probably just throw out the hardwood. And we also got a mining monthly. I will keep that. I don't know what we get from that at the bookseller, but I would like to find out. And we can probably also throw out some of our trash from our crab pots, and that should free up enough space for us to keep going for a little bit here, although it is midnight, so we have to think about packing up relatively soon. Mushroom floor on 116. I have no inventory space for any of that, but I would like it, so let's toss out a couple of things. What don't we need? We probably don't need 3 iron ore. Probably not entirely necessary. We definitely don't need the dwarf scrolls. We already have those, and that should be enough inventory room, because these all, in theory, should be iridium and only take up 2 stacks, which is one of the reasons why I love that profession over the other one, because I hate when forage takes up multiple slots for the same thing. And this will probably be the last floor that we do, unless we find a super quick ladder. If we find a super quick ladder, we'll go down, quickly check. We do have a farm warp totem, so we're not too concerned about the time. But yeah, we're not finding it. So let's just go ahead, warp home, call that a first day done. Clean up the inventory with Q real quick. One of the best mods, in my opinion. We also have a whole bunch of wine ready to harvest. I don't have any inventory room for it, so that's probably going to happen tomorrow. Well, we could probably do it right now. Go on then. Grab all of that wine, and we should, in theory, be able to sell it before we pass out. Perfect. We also have aged crimson fish roe. These sell for 1,560 each. Not terrible, not terrible. Let's go ahead and sell the starfruit wine. We can sell the clams, we can sell the oysters, we can sell the purple mushrooms, sell the red mushrooms. I would like to keep my ancient seed. I will quickly just go ahead and turn that into a regular ancient seed. And then we can go into this chest, throw in our geode. Gold bar, apparently we don't have any because it didn't auto stack. Weird. That is very strange. And we also have a mining monthly, which I will throw in here. And then 1:30 in the morning, we can go ahead and turn in for the night. First day of the episode complete and successful. And we made a decent chunk of money. Nice $44,000. Nothing to scoff at. Absolutely. I like it. Let's go on to day 2. And like I said, if this is a good luck day, I think we should head back into the mines, try and find that prismatic jelly with a little bit of good luck food. And we have the lucky ring on, so that is perfect for this. And it is a lucky day, so I think that is exactly what we'll do. It's also raining, which doesn't super affect us anymore, but just something to note. All right, we have a whole bunch of cranberries ready to harvest up, as well as a couple of broccoli. We also have some mail. I imagine everyone is going to be sending us things. So let me quickly just get on with my farm chores. Then I'll come back, check the mail, and we can go from there. And our relationship with our animals should be getting fairly close to full. As you can see, these guys don't have a pat symbol above them. That means they are at full heart and we no longer have to worry about them because we do have the auto petter. So that is why I'm not particularly concerned about that. We quickly grab out all of our milk, get that into our cheese presses, and then we can move on with our day. Next thing is next. Our iridium watering can is actually ready, so we should probably go ahead and grab that. And I think I would like to turn in my hoe, upgrade that to gold as well. And then from there, we are heading up to the mines for the day in hopes of finding that prismatic jelly. Let's go ahead and get everything that needs to be sold. We don't need any more of that broccoli. I do need to go back over to my tree farm because I forgot to harvest that up. So let's quickly do that. That should be probably closest is going to be the left side. Yeah, that'll be good. I don't want to harvest up this fir just yet. And I do want to harvest up this pine tar because I want everything in sync with the front ones. So this will come up first and then we'll leave that up. Once this comes up again, we'll harvest it all together, if that makes sense. Perfect. All right. I should have used the minecart to get back over here, but that is okay. Ready machines on Chubby Farm is just these. I'm not particularly concerned about that. From this point, I think we can just sell most of the things in our inventory. Truffle, chanterelle, pine tar, and birch water we will keep. Mayonnaise we can sell. Get rid of all of the things that we don't need. I do have that ancient seed on me. I'm going to leave that in my inventory for now for the next time that I head over to Grandpa's farm. But otherwise, I'm not going to worry about it. All right, we get fried eel recipe from George. We get algae soup from Clint. We get parsnip soup from Caroline. Stuffing from Pam. Autumn's bounty from Demetrius. Pumpkin soup from Robin. Sashimi from Linus. Rhubarb pie from Marnie. Escargot from Willie. And a grilled cheese sandwich from Barton. Fantastic. That is a whole bunch of recipes unlocked that we didn't have before. Exactly what we needed. All right, now in terms of lucky food, what do we have available to us? We have some spicy eel, which is just +1. Do we have any better options? Probably not. So I guess for now, we'll grab out the spicy eel, drink ourselves a triple shot espresso, eat the spicy eel, and head up to the mines in search for that prismatic jelly. All right, and I think I will... Let's just hop. Every 5 floors we'll hop and see if we can't see anyone. And hopefully this is a decent way to do this. None there. 35. We do want to check the floor as much as possible. But this is going to be the game plan. We are looking for any color shifting slimes. That is what we need. There they are. That is exactly what we are looking for. That should complete the quest, and we can immediately turn that prismatic jelly into the wizard, which will in turn give us monster musk to use at our own leisure, right? So let's head back to the bus stop. Probably is the quickest way to get back to the wizard. We'll head down there, turn that in, and call that a pretty successful day. From there, I think I will go ahead and refill some of my things. I don't think I have any ancient fruit ready just yet. Sorry, not ancient fruit, star fruit just yet to put in my kegs, but that is okay. We also get a quick little cutscene with Andy. I don't know what this one's about, but we'll see. Jerry and Elizabeth used to live here. This was their vineyard. They were good friends of mine. Remember the Great Recession? You still had that there office job of yours. That nosedive in the market had devastating effects on the demand for crops, especially artisan goods. Jerry and Elizabeth held out long as they could, but eventually gave up. Jerry, you yoba darn fool. I told them not to spend all their darn money on that project of theirs, or else they'd... I was on the verge of bankruptcy myself. Luckily, I knew where to look for good forage. The forage saved me. Yoba was looking after me. Same thing happened to Alexa, that little farmhouse south of Fairhaven Farm. Now, some freakish cretin of a mouse lives in there selling hats. I think that the wizard has something to do with it. I'm always seeing flashing lights coming from his tower. Andy is a character, right? I need to do some pondering by myself why I came out here alone. Now leave. Thanks, Andy. Good chat. Good chat. Andy made me forget what I was doing, but I believe I was heading to the wizard. So let's go ahead and do that. I do just want to quickly double check what this was. And yeah, it was 5 mussels. That should be easy enough once we get to Ginger Island. But we'll do our best to try and find them before then. We might even head down back to the ocean today and see if we manage to catch any, because we do need to catch them anyway in order to achieve perfection. But let's try and find the wizard. They're probably downstairs, and this will probably be another cutscene. No cutscene with the wizard today. Fantastic. All right, let's go ahead and chat with you. I do have something important to tell you. I found your prismatic jelly. Good sir. Okay, and he takes it and tells me to leave. Perfect. That does get us 5,000 gold, and in the mail tomorrow we should get monster musk, in theory, right? All right, now it is 2 p.m. Let's go ahead, head down to the ocean, check on our crab pots, and then we might even call it an early... No, we won't. No, we won't. No, we won't. No, we won't, because I completely forgot to do something. Let's walk back to the farm, grab out 5 gold, and upgrade our hoe as well. And then we'll head down to the beach. Get rid of any of the things that we don't need. Squid ink can probably live in there for the moment. And I will grab 5 gold bars. Perfect. All right, now we can head into town, go and see Clint, upgrade our hoe, and then head down to the beach. There is the iridium watering can. Perfect. And I would like you to please upgrade my hoe. Thank you, good sir. Since we're doing crab pot stuff anyway, I will go ahead and switch these ones out as well. And we also get a prize ticket for completing that special orders board. We will go ahead and check what we get from that. That is going to be 20 mini bombs. Perfectly reasonable reward. They will eventually get used. All right, down to the ocean to check on our crab pots. And with that done, I think we will... actually, before we head back to the farm, we do now have access to the sewer, and we have a little bit more money than we had before. So let's come down here, and I would like to please change one of my professions. That profession is going to be farming. That will change once I go to sleep. That leaves us with 56,000 gold, and I'm curious how much this star drop is. It's only 20,000, so we'll grab that, get ourselves some more energy and another star drop under our pocket. Fantastic. That should be very, very nice. It's strange, but the taste reminds you of panda cubs. That's you guys. All right, with that done, now let's head back to the farm. And I think I want to check on Grandpa's shed just to see how it's going, because I want to see whether or not I can actually plant that ancient seed. I don't believe I have room up there, but I do just want to check just in case. We also got, what did we actually get from the beach? We got 1 mussel, so that's something. That's a start. Step back to the bus stop, head back to the farm, clean out the inventory, and then I want to go check on Grandpa's farm and the greenhouse. And since we're here, we may as well go ahead and restock our furnaces. I did notice that we were out of gold completely. We're also out of iron completely, so we should probably smelt up a little bit of those in the meantime. We'll do gold on one side and iron on the other. And then from there, we'll go and check on Grandpa's shed. And yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I thought this was completely full. Once, okay, that ancient fruit is ready in a day, so we'll change that into seeds. We should have some seeds in here as well. Eventually, this entire thing will be filled with ancient fruit, but I'll only replace it once the star fruit actually grows up. So we'll come back in roughly 4 days to do all of that. Of course, we will come back tomorrow to grab that 1 ancient fruit that will be ready. With that being said, there's nothing else I really want to do today, so we are going to have an early night and just move on with the video a little bit faster than we normally would. I'd like to make a little bit faster progress, and now that we're, you know, later in the year, on days that we don't have all that much to do. So we are going to sleep for the night. We will pick up Tiller and then Artisan. So Artisan goods, wine, cheese, oil, etc. are worth 40% more. That will be absolutely fantastic. Made a whole bunch of money, another 30 grand in our pocket from not doing all that much, which is very, very nice to see. All right, it is George's birthday. We have 1 crop ready to harvest in Grandpa's shed, and we have to check the daily bulletin board. The wizard wants us to kill a squid kid. That will get us a thing. I didn't actually pay attention to what the next reward was. If anyone was paying attention, I would love to know. I don't really have all that much interest in doing that, but it wouldn't take us very long. So I will go ahead and accept it. Whether or not we get it done, I don't 100% know, but that'll be fine. We have a little bit more mail. Monster Mask from the Wizard. Crimson Lily Fairy. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. Monster Mask is finally unlocked, which is fantastic. If we have a look at our monster eradication goals, maybe that's something we should start working on today. If we can make Monster Mask, we can go ahead and visit the lower levels of the mines. That'll give us squid kids that the wizard wants us to kill. It'll also give us slimes, it'll give us void spirits, and potentially some rock crabs as well. And then the only things left are Pepper Rex, which shouldn't take very long, 62 serpents, which will happen naturally in Skull Caverns, and then magma sprites as well, which I actually don't know what a magma sprite is. And it's not in the list, so never mind. I guess we'll find out once we find one. They might be a Crimson Badlands thing, and we're a little ways off that for the moment, so that's absolutely okay. Let's quickly just go ahead, eat some coffee, drink some coffee, I should say, check on our animals, grab something out for George, and then we might head into town and then head up to the mines. And we get another crimson fish roe. We need to make some more fish ponds at some point. From here, I will head into Grandpa's shed and make sure that we harvest up that ancient fruit before we head out and do whatever it is we end up doing today. Our trees are also ready, so I should probably go ahead and harvest those as well. There is our ancient fruit. That is immediately going into the seed maker. I won't bother waiting for that. It's just the one. It'll be ready next time we come in here, and we don't have to particularly concern ourselves with that. From there, let's go down and grab all of our fruit trees just because we can. And then we can figure out what we're doing with the rest of our day, which I think will be Monster Musk and the mines. And I believe that's all of the fall trees as soon as we get this one. Perfect. All right, let's sell all of the things that we don't need, harvest up our furnaces, and then go from there. And our artisan products should sell for a decent amount more now as well, which is always nice to see. And let's go ahead and get our crimson fish row into there. Grab out a little bit of iridium ore as well as our coal and switch out these furnaces. All right, from there, we need to have a look at our calendar. It is George's birthday. He likes pearls, prismatic shards, and rabbit's feet. What do we want to give you? I guess you can have a... Well, let's give you a rabbit's foot. Why not? Silver quality. It'll be a little bit better than a regular old pearl, and that should be fantastic. We have one ready machine in Grandpa's shed. That's just the seed maker. We don't have to worry about that. Farm cave is ready again. I missed that. I'm not going to be particularly concerned about that. And then this. Okay, so let's quickly open up our crafting menu and see what it actually takes to craft up Monster Musk, because I'm not actually 100% sure. And we should probably look that up before we do it. So that is pretty cheap. 30 bat wings and 30 slimes. We should be able to make a decent amount of these. Let's go ahead and make 5. We can just keep those on us. And I think that'll be a reasonable thing to do. All right, from there, let's head into town, find George, give him his rabbit's foot for his birthday, and then head up to the mines for the day. Hey George, happy birthday, old friend. I definitely did remember your birthday because I get a little notification about it. Otherwise, I would have 100% forgotten. We are now up to, what's that, 7 hearts with George? Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. We'll go ahead and talk to Evelyn while we're here, just to get a little bit of extra friendship, and then head straight up to the mines. And realistically, should I be wearing my lucky ring? No. So let's go back home, switch out the lucky ring for the burglar ring, because we are slaying a whole bunch of monsters today, and go from there. I also believe the luckier you are, the less monsters spawn. So being lucky on days when you're trying to do that is probably generally a bad thing. So we're going to switch it out for the burglar's ring, get extra loot drops, and also decrease our luck just a little bit so that we hopefully get more monsters spawning. Go straight to the mines, spray ourselves with a little bit of Monster Musk, and then we're going to head straight down to floor 100, and I'm just going to work my way through. Of course, since we have lower luck, we're going to have a harder time finding these shafts, but honestly, it shouldn't be too bad with all the monsters we're encountering. They have a better chance of dropping ladders than breaking rocks anyway. There is our Squid Kid for the wizard. Floor 107 is a monster level, which is absolutely fantastic. I think I will go ahead, finish this floor, and then we'll jump back out. I will just continue to farm this floor as much as possible, heading back to floor 105, and then coming back here, because this is so many void spirits and so many slimes that we should complete our monster eradication goals in like no time at all. We also get a rock crab every now and then. There is the rock crab monster eradication goal complete, I believe, is what we just got. Let's go ahead and leave, head straight back to floor 105, try and find the ladder as quickly as possible, and head down to 107. And 107, you can see, full of monsters once again. And let's just quickly check on our progress. 43 more void spirits, 104 more slimes. So let's say 50 and 100 just to be easily keep track of it. Let's do that one more time and see how much that goes down by. All right, let's quickly check before we head down to this floor in particular. 99 slimes, 40 void spirits. Let's go. All right, it was 99 and 40 beforehand. It is now 34 and 91. So actually not as good as I thought it might have been, but still, it's probably one of the faster ways to go about this. So I'm going to continue on with that method for now. And I completely forgot we unlocked trinkets as well. So we are on the lookout for those. Unfortunately, all we got so far is an ice rod. I don't particularly care about that. I would like a fairy if I can possibly find one. That would make me the happiest out of all of the trinkets that we could possibly get. I'm also meant to be going down, back up here rather than actually completing this level, although that level seemed pretty full. Maybe that was a bad call, but it'll be fine. I'm sure we'll find more monsters. There is a parrot egg, which is better than nothing. It gives us a chance to find gold. It's not particularly useful, but I'll put it on just because we don't have anything better at the moment. Gonna name the parrot. I don't think you can. Can you name parrots? I don't know that you can, but if you can, I will. I mean, also the parrot's probably not going to stay around for very long because we will replace it with a fairy eventually, but just in principle. His name can be Bruce. This is Bruce. There you go. There's 500 gold from Bruce. Appreciate that. Use a pickaxe. What are you doing? Just slamming this thing with a sword. All right. 1 a.m. It is probably time to head home. Our coffee ran out. Our Monster Musk also ran out at some point during the day. I don't know 100% when that happened. But we made pretty decent progress towards our eradication goals. We need 2 more void spirits, really. I wish I'd looked at that before I left. And 64 more slimes. So that's not bad at all. Void spirits we might just quickly grab tomorrow, and then I might even go over to Skull Caverns and try and complete some of our other ones as well. Just get them out of the way while we don't have too much left to do. Let's quick clear our inventory. It's not going to do the best job in the world, but we can get some of this stuff. Why is the gold sticking around? That's my question. Because it's locked. That shouldn't be locked. That should be locked because I'd like to always keep those on me. And everything else shouldn't be. So that should be fine. Go Q, open a chest so that we're not wasting time, and see what we've got on us. Strange bun doesn't go in there. I wish you could rearrange your inventory. Yeah, I think we can just keep all of that on us until morning. That can go in there. That can go in there. And then the rest I'll just keep on me. I think that'll be absolutely fine. I don't want to pass out. Let's quickly pat our dog if we can. This gets harder and harder as your house gets bigger and bigger, but that's okay. And we will go to sleep for the evening. All right, not as much on that day, but still a cool $11,000. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Day 25 of fall, year 1. We are getting very, very close to winter. I know the title was like prepping for winter, but we really haven't done any of that at all. I think that's okay though. I think we're pretty prepared for winter as it is. We have a little bit of mail. George is teaching us to cook spicy eel, which is nice. Let's go ahead and harvest up our aged legend rope, which is going to be a nice little bit of money for us. Get that in along with all of the other things that we managed to find yesterday. We have a couple of decorations that we can throw into our chest here, and then we'll go ahead and start harvesting up all of our crops. There is our very first sweet gem berries as well. I do need to sell one of them. So I will go ahead and sell exactly one, sell the rest of the stuff that's in my inventory as well. And then I'm going to keep the other one on me for now. We'll go into the secret woods and turn that in for yet another star drop, which will be fantastic. 2 star drops in 1 episode is very, very nice to see. And because we have the forager perk, there is a chance that we get more than that. So we actually got 5 truffles in total. We can't even turn all of those into oil just yet. And we do want to start turning these into oil now because we now have the Artisan perk. So these sell for more than the truffles. These sell for $12.50. These sell for $14.91. Absolutely worthwhile doing that. All right, from there, let me quickly check this. The gold hoe is ready. I might go ahead and take a little bit of iridium down to Clint and upgrade that all the way to iridium tier. That should be the very last of our tools upgraded, apart from our pan, but we will get there eventually. We can now sell truffle oil, duck mayonnaise, and regular mayonnaise for a decent amount of money. And while we're here, I will go ahead and reset our furnaces as well. Alright, furnaces officially reset. Let me grab out 5 of the iridium bars that can go ahead and upgrade that. And then, daily bulletin board. Clint wants 15 coal. I can absolutely go ahead and do that. We are heading that way anyway. Do they have to be fresh? Gathering coal. Yes, they do need to be fresh. That's unfortunate. But I do need to go and see the wizard because we have bounty for the Squid Kid, which will get us another prize ticket, which is very nice. Do you guys know that I am live on Twitch as well? I know some people prefer to view over there, so I am streaming to both. Alright, now it is time to head into town, go see Clint, and then I will go and potentially do a little bit of Skull Caverns. We're not aiming to go deep. We just want to use the monster mask and slay a whole bunch of creatures if we can. So I'm considering not even taking any bombs with me, to be completely honest. What do I think? Maybe we'll take like 50 bombs and that'll be fine. Right? That should be good. I'm pretty sure I have iridium in my inventory. I hope that I do. Run into Clint, grab back out the gold hoe, and go ahead and immediately turn that back in for iridium. That should be fantastic. As soon as we get $100,000, I would also like to head up to Robin and get ourselves the final house upgrade. I think that will be a very nice investment to have. I probably should have also gone down to Lewis's, but you know, that's okay. We'll manage. And I also need to go to the secret woods, which I should have done when I was at the wizards. That's a little bit unfortunate. All right, let's go ahead and spray a monster mask. We need 2 void spirits. So we're just going to go straight to floor 100. This should be literally 1 floor and then we can run away. Assuming that there's any monsters on the floor that we spawned on, which there are not. There is number 1. That gives us a basilisk paw, which makes us immune to debuffs. Don't particularly care about that. There is the Monster Slayer goal complete, and we can now go ahead and warp to the desert to try and complete the rest of our monster eradication goals, which will be very, very nice. All right, let's go ahead and drink up our coffee. I will also go ahead and drink a spicy eel just so that I have faster movement speed. The luck is what it is. I don't really care about that aspect of it. I just want to slay a whole bunch of creatures. And slaying these giant slimes is particularly advantageous because they spawn multiple, which means you get multiple slime kills per enemy, which is nice. And we should see a whole bunch of serpents, a whole bunch of slimes because we do have the monster mask on. And I'm hoping that we can get a good chunk of these monster eradication goals complete today. We've reached a new level of understanding, so we need to go and check the mastery cave as well. And like I said, I'm not really trying to go low, I'm just trying to get as many monsters killed as I possibly can. There is the slime quest complete. What do we got left? 5 pepper X's, 53 serpents, and 150 magma sprites. Sprites? Yeah, not spirits. Magma sprites. Oh, they're the caldera volcano thing. They're not the other thing at all. That's fine. We'll get to that eventually. Potentially relatively soon because we are reasonably close to completing the community center, which will then unlock Ginger Island. Okay, I no longer care about slaying slimes, so we can now start going a little bit deeper, a little bit faster, just looking for the serpents. And pepper Rexes, but, you know, they're a little bit rarer. We're actually getting quite lucky with all these shafts. Down to floor 56 already, and we're not, like, we didn't set out to get low in these caves at all on this run, so not too shabby. There's a good amount of monsters, and you guys forgot to mention that my monster mask ran out. I blame you. I specifically asked you guys, and you didn't tell me. I will take those powder melons. I also am keeping an eye on the time. It is just after midnight, so we will have to leave rather soon. But we can probably do a floor more or two. And honestly, I think that is... Oh, I didn't see you coming. That's fine. That's fine. We can go home at this point. How did we do? We still need 4 more Pepper Rexes and 32 more Serpents. I think, honestly, rather than trying to force this to happen, I'm just going to let this happen slowly over time. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to chase this. I think I'm just going to let that happen naturally as we do Skull Cavern runs and just not worry about it too much. We had a decent Skull Cavern run. We got a Prismatic Shard that I didn't even notice, which is always nice. 73 Iridium, a couple of diamonds, a couple of powder melons. You know, all in all, decent. In terms of other things, we got another Basilisk Core that we don't care about. We got a whole bunch of Dwarf Scrolls, which we absolutely do not care about. And we also need to still go and do the Sweet Gem Berry thing. We'll get there eventually. That might be tomorrow's mission. Basilisk Core is going to go in here because we can sell that to the Adventurers Guild. The prize ticket will go in there. We'll eventually turn that in. Powder Melon Seeds go in my quote-unquote seed chest, which I believe is that one. Diamonds can live in my Skull Caverns chest. We are trying to collect 36 of them for the Dwarf, which will be nice. And then that's the inventory pretty much cleared out. We'll grab that singular jade, throw that in there. We need to trade those in at some point, but that'll happen eventually. It is 1:10, so we have a little bit of time before we have to go to bed. Let's grab out our iridium, replace this in our furnaces, and then we can call it a night. And with plenty of time to spare. Perfect. We now have 62 iridium bars. Not bad. Not bad. Fantastic. All right, let's head to bed and call it a night right about there. All right, $33,000 on the day. Not terrible. Not terrible at all. I'll call that a win. That is where we're going to end it for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, please go ahead and make sure to leave a like and a comment for the sake of engagement. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Consider becoming a member of the channel if you'd like early access to all of the videos. But until next time, happy building, happy farming. Bye, guys.